if you want me to pause, nigga, tell me. I'll pause. So yeah, let's go ahead.
The
Morality and BoJack
pause.
Horseman. Yeah, nigga.
At the same time, Bojack Horseman is both cartoonishly absurdist and staggeringly realistic. The jokes have jokes, and the characters have trauma. While this is a large part of what makes the series unique and memorable, it also makes what I'm trying to do here a little harder. Because if we go off the cold, hard facts, the black and white actions of every character, we'd have to acknowledge certain things we may not have considered in a discerning light.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hollyhock nonchalantly drugging Todd and Bojack, Todd committing genocide, and Princess Carolyn dating an actual child. I think that part's still a little unclear. Nevertheless, these situations are played for laughs, and that matters because as an audience, even though we know that Hollyhock knocked out Bojack and Todd multiple times before Beatrice slips speed into her coffee, we also naturally know which instance we are meant to take seriously.
Sorry again. It's just so fun.
So parameters. We'll keep
Saying that is fun is nasty work.
Drugging,
Drugging niggas and saying
drugging
that's
them.
fun is nasty work, bro. That's nasty work.
the underlying message of the jokes when they're there, but we'll disregard the absurd. Basically, if the show doesn't take it seriously, I'm not going to, which
W.
should be easy because
Thank you.
as zany and
You know,
ridiculous
'cause some
as
some
the
niggas
stories
be
can get, BoJack
stupid.
Horseman is a show that grabs you by the collar, pulls you close,
Whoa.
and tells you when it wants to be taken seriously.
Nobody got me by
We're
no
gonna
collar.
analyze some of the characters from the main cast, breaking down their actions, views, and personal ethics, and how those things change throughout the series. We're going to talk about the show's themes, the writer's intentions, the audience's
Damn.
takeaways.
Oh, she's
and
finna go in
how
depth with
each series
everything. Okay.
affected later seasons.
It's
But
finna go
first,
stupid.
as always, a spoiler warning for the following.
Oh, thank you. I thought you
Yeah,
had to have
limited
an
to
ad.
that
I'm about to
book for
say.
this one. Sources are linked.
We ain't
in
do no
the
ads now.
description.
No pretty much
And
here.
I think that's it. Okay, let's start. My personal favorite, Princess Carolyn, is one of the most complex examples.
Oh,
of
everybody
moral fairness in
everybody
this
love
series.
PC.
We need to preface with something.
She
though.
fine. She a
In
fine
the
character.
original pitch,
This Loki
Rita
Riddle. Every
Raphael
time, ooh, that
Bob
nigga ugly.
Waxberg claimed
Every
to
time,
intend for
every
Bo-
time I watch
Oh, that's the creep.
every time I watch BoJack,
Oh no, no. Do that.
every time I watch the show, because when I first watched it, no cap, Diane's my favorite character, no cap. Um, every time we watch it, PC just become higher, higher on my list. Loki Todd is a real character, bro. That nigga gets higher on my list too. Todd is real. That's a real character right there. Too bad
Hmm.
BoJack messed him up like 15 times.
I think Diane's still my favorite character, and then
Diane's
PC
up there.
second.
And then every time I watch it, no cap, when I first watched it, I hated Mr. Peanut Butter. Like, I ain't like that nigga. So serious. I ain't like him.
Oh,
Until
Mr. Peanut Butter. Oh, I forgot about the goat.
when he
Mr. Goat
here
Butter.
we go with this kid, bro.
Mr. Goat Butter.
But when I watched the first time, I didn't like Mr. Peanut Butter. I thought he was annoying. When I watched it again, I started to understand his character more. So I understand what he is. Like I understand his character. And then he pissed me off when he had sex with Diane and messed up his who was that dog name? What was her name, bro? That dog. What was her name, bro?
That is.
I don't know her name, bro. That dog, that pug that he went out with. And then did she end up going out with that one pop star and leave that nigga for dry? That was funny.
That was. He knew that was gonna happen too. That's crazy.
That's yeah. I mean, 'cause Miss Peter's not stupid. He's not dumb. He just he's a
That was
dog.
stupid.
Yeah, Miss Peter is actually like not that dumb. But yeah, move on.
That game show episode was fine though.
That game shit was fine. That's like one of the first time you see a nigga serious. Cause you don't see Mr. Peter serious like that. I mean, when BoJack stole the D for when BoJack stole the D for Diane, he got a little bit serious, but then he wanted to help that nigga. So that was the first time you see Mr. Peter like actually like upset. He was like, and that's why you kissed my wife, which is crazy, dude. That nigga BoJack did kiss Diane. That was crazy. Alright, I'm nasty. I call this nigga Chop.
Bojack Horseman to have a large focus on the entertainment industry. He later admitted this was a blatant lie, so the show would be more likely to get picked up. Raphael was absolutely interested in exploring the machinations of Hollywood and Bojack Horseman, the good and the bad, but evidently mostly the bad. Because the show takes place in a Hollywood-adjacent world, Raphael Bob Waxberg felt a responsibility to shed light on some of its very real faults. He said, part of our job in being a show about show business is to point out the things of show business that are kind of gross and aren't quite right. And they do. Bojack Horseman dives into a myriad of prevalent issues: sexism, the flagrant mistreatment of Hollywood assistants, toxic celebrity culture, Hollywood's role in performative feminism, child stardom, and continuing to give horrible people power. They comment on actors, agents, network execs, blockbuster directors, indie directors. The writers don't exempt themselves from their criticism either, first mildly in Season 3 with veteran sitcom writer Cuddly Whiskers portraying writer pretentiousness.
Send me an email, cuddlywhiskers@harvard.edu. That's HAR. I got it.
Later, in Season 5, they dive deeper into exploring the quintessential power-hungry showrunner with Flip McVicker, who is equally as insecure as he is full of himself, and is unable to take criticism but quick to take credit for everything.
The whole point of television is it's a collaborative medium where one person gets all the credit.
As the main cast's only Hollywood agent, Princess Carolyn's character frequently allegorizes corruption in the entertainment industry. In the earliest episodes, when the show was still finding its footing and the characters were less fleshed out, this was more exaggerated.
Sarah Lynn doesn't have an agent? Laura, hold my calls. Cancel everything. They have got a white whale to catch, baby.
I don't think these offshore banks we've been using are 100% legal.
Yeah, well, my mother told me never to slap an idiot.
What?
As the show progressed, the writing mellowed out a bit, but still carried a similar sentiment.
What is going on here?
Only the future.
This is horrifying, and it doesn't look legal, but whatever it is, you better be cutting me in for 10%.
Beyond a talent agent's stereotypical attributes, Princess Carolyn's character opens doors to portray several industry-prevalent topics, such as hustle culture, talent agency dynamics, nepotism, and unpaid internships.
What do you mean, like modern reading slaves?
Exactly.
Many of these jokes are told in passing, nudges between the writers, but the show will also explore issues deeper, wrapping entire episodes around problems like the industry's role in desensitizing gun violence, sexism, and commonplace edifices of complicity that Princess Carolyn is quick to partake in. Yeah.
That's why I don't think some niggas like this show, because they don't understand what's going on. Because, like, I've seen a lot of niggas talk about this show, and they say it's, like, too, like, not goofy, but, like, because it's animated, they can't understand what's going on. Like, nigga, there's a lot of messages the show gives about the Hollywood industry. Like, it's actually insane. Like, it's not no funny show, my nigga.
Yeah, that's a very broad way of thinking.
Like, that gun violence episode, when I first watched it, I didn't like it because I didn't understand what's going on. But then when I watched it again, my nigga, how PC was acting when they say thoughts and prayers, it's funny because, like, nigga, that's how the industry does. Like, with any little thing that happens, they try to make something happen and they say thoughts and prayers. Like, that's just how it was.
Yeah.
I know it was funny at first. I was like, "Yo, why? This is annoying." But then when I watched it again, I understood what was going on. I think niggas just gotta watch it and try not to think like, cause a lot of niggas watch animated things and not take it seriously. I think you need to try to take it more seriously. This show got a lot of deep messages, bro. The show's really good. I love the show.
They need to do that with the Vegeton.
Yeah, a lot of niggas come to say it's because it's like a not a cart. Yeah, it's because it's a cartoon. That's why. It's because it's a cartoon.
Why. But like, bro, Adventure Time has all those deep meanings and stuff in some episodes. Like, there's some episodes that are like really deep, but they don't take it seriously because it was goofy.
Because it's a cartoon. But if it was live action and like niggas was actually crying, niggas would take it seriously. But it's because it's animated. It's literally because it's animated. Which I thought more niggas take BoJack seriously because it's an animated adult show. But I guess niggas just see animated, they don't really care.
Yeah, they're expecting like a Family Guy, but like, bro,
I don't know why. I knew the first like 3 episodes, it was a little bit like Family Guy because you could tell it would like do the little gag jokes, which I hated. When I be telling niggas when I tell niggas to watch BoJack, I tell them to start episode 4 when he does the Todd stuff because the first 3 episodes, my nigga, they're good.
Neil McBeal, Navy SEAL was fine though.
That was funny. But the first 2 episodes, my nigga, when it was doing the back and forth gag jokes, like I didn't like that, my nigga. I like the more stuff they do. Like when they make a joke, I don't need to see what the joke actually is. I don't want to see it. Like I don't really care. I understand what's going on. So yeah, you know, Navy SEAL was funny. That nigga really was getting mad over dibs, bro.
Ambitious, hardworking, and manipulative. But she's also satirically representing to the audience a quintessential power agent in Hollywood. Sometimes there's a distinguishable line between what the writers are trying to say about the industry versus what they're trying to tell us about Princess Carolyn as a character. Typically, it's easier to overlook Princess Carolyn's ethics because where Bojack and Diane's senses of self and character arcs are very much tied to morality, Princess Carolyn's aren't. She's kind of just busy with other stuff. She's more secure in her own sense of self. Not that she has it all figured out, but just that it's not as integral to how she navigates the world or views her identity.
W. Ralph.
This doesn't mean she's a quote-unquote bad person.
Oh yeah, there's a video
Princess
of
Carolyn is not
like
out.
why they didn't work out.
Yeah, I seen it. It makes sense, but I like Ralph, man. That was my guy. I like Ralph.
I didn't watch it yet, so I don't know.
You didn't watch it? I watched it, and what they said, it made sense. It's right, but I just like Ralph. That was like my favorite nigga. But not Todd. What was that nigga named? Judah.
Jonah the goat.
Jonah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Who's Jonah, nigga?
That's his name.
He talking about
Josiah.
no,
right?
nigga, no,
Is it
nigga,
Jonah or
no,
Josiah?
nigga,
What's
none of them, nigga, Judah, nigga said Josiah,
Oh yeah, Judah. Yeah.
nigga, cause you were so
I know it was
confident.
one of those. Okay,
You
I know
was
it was one of
you
those.
was so
I know it was one of
confident
those.
in Jonah, nigga. You was so confident.
Because I thought it was. My fault. Judah.
Yeah, Judah, nigga, Judah.
Overly rude or inconsiderate in the way that Bojack is. In everyday life, she's generally nice, polite, and thoughtful to the people around her, going out of her way to help her clients to a fault. Where her immoralities come into play typically concern her career. The thing is, Princess Carolyn would be happy to always do the right thing, so long
Do
as
the right
it aligns
thing.
with her best professional interests. But in an industry that constantly ignores her potential and achievements and tends to value money and power over ethics, her best interests and the right thing aren't always one and the same. And more often than not, she's rewarded for lies and manipulation.
Exactly. We're not making them feel unsafe. We're just profiting.
And, you know, if PC is not directly involved with an issue, she doesn't always care. Or she cares obligatorily, but she doesn't really
That was a big
care.
word.
Well, you know I've got your back, right? We women have got to stick to, hey, fruit plate.
Princess Carolyn's focus is ambition and self-preservation. Unlike Diane, she doesn't want to stir the pot or make waves. She does what she needs to do to survive in the industry. She's all the less willing to compromise her career because of how much she sacrificed for it.
I have given everything to get where I am, and I am not about to throw all that away.
In some ways, it's a far cry from how she grew up. Princess Carolyn spent her childhood with selflessness as her defining trait, constantly prioritizing her family's needs above her own. She'd frequently fill in for her alcoholic mother as a maid for a wealthy family.
So unless I wanted us to be out on the street, I had to step in and cover for her. A lot.
Quickly solving other people's problems is how she had to survive.
My mom, well, obviously she was planning on cleaning the floors, but I asked her if I could do it.
Princess Carolyn was the last of her many siblings to stay behind to take care of her mother. I don't think it's a coincidence that the first selfish decision Princess Carolyn makes is also the decision that dramatically changes her life for the better.
I don't think that was selfish, though. I don't think that was. And here we go, right? Nigga, is that Marshawn Lynch?
I thought that was Kai.
Nigga, that's Marshawn Lynch, my nigga. Nigga, that's Marshawn Lynch.
I did not see that at first. I was like not paying attention. I looked up for one quick second. I saw.
PC
That's lucky real. I mean, I guess you could call that selfish, but like her mom was just being weird. Like her mom just, nigga was like, yeah, you guys accept the UCLA, but like, come on, stay with your mother. Like, come on now, like. I don't think that was.
It was selfish. That was her first selfish decision. That's
No,
good.
I'm saying like it's selfish, but like in a negative, not in a negative way though, because like, bruh, she was like, come on, stay with your mother now. You do your mother like that, like that was crazy. She was just lazy, bruh. Like, nigga, PCD, she had to do all of the maid's work and do all the maid work while she had sex with that fox, and she got a I'm gonna say something nasty, but I caught myself.
I remember that.
Yeah, she did, and unfortunately, she had a miscarriage. Cause I want to make a shoot, cause that nigga, that fox, them niggas able to take care of her for the rest of their life. So that means she never been age, nothing like that. Nigga would have been just a housewife, having a fox cat baby.
She retains many of the traits she developed in childhood, like her tenacity and intelligence. But from this point on, her life revolves around a paradoxical dichotomy between selfishness and selflessness. This dynamic is perfectly encapsulated in her profession. As an agent and later a manager, Princess Carolyn takes 10% of her clients' paychecks. She's not paid per hour, and she doesn't earn an annual salary. What she makes and how much she makes is literally contingent on how good she is at helping her clients get work.
You ever notice how, as a woman, you only make 10 cents for every dollar your clients make? Really makes you think, huh?
There are some exceptions, but the parameters of her job.
That was crazy. I don't even remember that. I don't remember that nigga saying that.
I don't remember that either.
That nigga is nasty.
To be selfless, she has to be selfish. And to be selfish, she has to be selfless. This same dichotomy extends to her personality. As an adult, she reverts to the role of helping those around her that she was forced to do as a child. Princess Carolyn defaults to this mode naturally. It's borderline a trauma response. We see it manifest into helping people around her, like the countless times she takes care of Bojack.
Countless
or when
times.
she gets Diane a job doing social media.
Because my life is a mess right now, and I compulsively take care of other people when I don't know how to take care of myself.
This is a coping mechanism PC uses to soothe her own stress. Although her actions are selfless and she is helping other people, she does have the conscious intent to make herself feel better. Interestingly, Bojack recognizes this trait in her.
You let me help you tonight because you knew I needed it.
That episode was like one of the first times Bojack was being so real. Like, that nigga wasn't saying nothing. That nigga said, yo, like, you depend on niggas too much. That nigga was telling nigga straight up what's going on.
That's the first time he actually genuinely cared.
Bojack's real when he's not, like, you know, being a drag and alcoholic. But the nigga's real. I mean, PC said, she was like, Bojack, you got good qualities. You just, you know, you just make so many mistakes. It's hard to see them.
It's true.
Because the nigga is a good actor. Well, I was about to say he did good in Secretary, but never mind. The AI did it for him, so never mind. I mean, he did good at Filbert, though. He did good at Filbert. He almost won an award for that. And then, you know, he won an award for his book that he did right. So, I mean, hey, he got some stuff. Yeah, that's crazy that the AI really did it for him. That nigga left.
Right.
You did it.
We touched it up for you.
Of course, that
The
opens...
nigga said, okay, I'm back to finish Secretariat 2 months later. Nigga wanna come back to us, so I'm back. That nigga, Turtle Top was like, we finished the movie. Like,
yeah, he's like, we touched it up too. You wanna see?
that I know that nigga said, yeah, every scene that you did, we replaced it. So the nigga didn't do anything besides skin his face. Basically. That whole scene,
I mean,
we had to
he
cry.
told himself though.
He did. I mean, he just left, and it was gone for what, 2 months? No, I think longer than that. Was he gone for almost a year? He was gone for a minute.
I think it was like 2 months.
He was gone for a minute, and he was
That
like,
was his skip to LA, right?
No, that was when was the Sugarman place.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was gone for like 2 months.
He was gone for a minute. And nigga took my song. Okay, I'm back to film Secretariat, nigga.
Or I think it was like 5 months.
It was a little bit, nigga, because it was when he got there, it was sunny, and then it was
Oh yeah, it turned to winter.
Yeah, then it turned to winter. Nigga, was he
Yeah,
there?
it was like
I'm
5
looking it
months.
up. I'm looking it up.
A good 5 months. Dang, all caps.
It's just like that. Prison. How long was Bojack
Prison. Wait, hold on. Search that up.
at the Sugarman place? Bojack grandparents. Nigga, you not telling me how long that Bojack stay in Michigan? Over a year.
Dang.
How long did he stay in New Mexico? Oh, so 2 months was Mexico. 2 months was Mexico. 2 months was New Mexico. Over a year.
You just mixed up your facts.
So this nigga left in 2016, came back over a year later. They're gonna say, okay, I'm ready to. Yeah, that nigga's so cooked, bro.
Up the debate of psychological egoism versus altruism. If a person does a good deed for another person, but also benefits from it themselves, is their action inherently selfish? Psychological egoism says yes. Altruism says no. The show actually touches on this exact philosophy in The View from Halfway Down, with the characters, at least through Bojack's subconscious lens, having varying opinions.
If you got pleasure, it wasn't selfless, and it's only good if it's selfless.
The episode was so good.
Who cares if it made me feel
Yeah.
good too?
Nevertheless, Princess Carolyn cares deeply about the people close to her. She tolerates Bojack's flighty mistreatment of her for years, helping him even when
Years.
he's manipulative and dismissive of her.
Now, why don't you leave this to the grown-ups? If somebody needs coffee, I'll give you a ring.
That's
Okay.
so nasty.
Best of luck.
She lets Todd move in with her, and even after Sadie makes it clear she won't let Princess Carolyn adopt her baby, PC continues to show her kindness.
You want to keep the baby? You want to give the baby to someone else? Fine. Just do what you want to do.
After I told them I wasn't going to give them the baby, they all went cold or nasty. Except you. You were still nice. I think that's a sign.
Like Diane, Princess Carolyn has a tendency to get tunnel vision and miss the bigger picture. But while Diane's hyperfixations stem from "this is wrong," Princess Carolyn's are more of a product of "this needs to be fixed."
You're seeing things in absolutes.
Dang, Diana, let stuff go.
Who's we?
In these moments, all PC can think about is closing the deal, spinning the story, fixing the problem, putting out the fire, being good at the job. It's easy for her to fall down this rabbit hole and get lost in how she can solve what's right in front of her, without considering the ethical ramifications doing so might have. Maybe the worst example of this is when she hires well-known horrible person Vance Wagner to star in Filbert. This is particularly bad because this isn't an instance where she's complicit to something unethical that's already happening. Princess Carolyn is the one who suggests Vance's name. She takes him out to lunch to convince him to join the show, fully knowing and not caring about his problematic past.
Once word gets out that it's okay to hire you again, all the other offers will come rolling in.
It isn't until Vance double-crosses PC and backs out of the Filbert contract that she admits that she was wrong and wants to punish him. This same thing happens during the Hollywood assistant strike. Princess Carolyn's default position is to find a way to end it the fastest way possible while losing the least amount of money possible. That's the problem she's fully fixated on. It takes Princess Carolyn hearing a phrase she was repeatedly told when she was an assistant to make her snap out of this fight-to-win mindset and see the bigger picture. Getting Judah to represent the assistants is one of the best things PC does, and we're proud of her for it.
Let the negotiations begin.
Over the series, we see PC shift from someone who is complicit and, at her worst, even encouraging of the systemic issues within the industry, to someone who is actively making it a better place. She declines Turtle Taub's offer and decides to start her own production company in the way that she can fully design from the ground up. She agrees to open up a daycare to make her employees' lives easier, and she backs Diane's children's book series, encouraging her to write it, despite Diane's hesitation.
I liked it. I like thinking that my daughter could grow up in a world with books like that.
Although the characters in Bojack Horseman definitely vary in their scales of positive and negative actions, this series makes it a point to show that they are all capable of both good and bad. It's hard to find a character that hasn't done something wrong. It is safe to say that the worst sins fall on the eponymous protagonist, Bojack Horseman.
Of course.
Eponymous was supposed to be a pun on pony. Ugh.
There are Reddit threads and YouTube videos dedicated to listing and categorizing every bad
I
thing
mean, yeah,
Bojack
the
has
nigga's
ever
the
done.
nigga evil.
Even Bojack.
Well, not evil, but
We could look
the
at
nigga
these
is horrible.
lists, pick out a few random things, and conclude that by social and cultural standards,
Major things.
Bojack Horseman is a bad person.
Yes.
But that doesn't seem to be the show's point. The creator, Raphael Bob Waxberg,
That nigga
said,
Chuck.
"It is very easy to see bad guys and say, that is a bad guy. But I think the truth is more complicated, and it does a disservice
Jesse.
to us as a society to write off bad men and reward good men. The good men have done bad things, and the bad men have done good things. I don't think the good forgives the bad.
That nigga
But I
laughing
also
chop
think
too.
the bad doesn't destroy the good. This ideology is a fundamental theme of the series.
There's no such thing as bad guys or good guys. We're all just guys.
Bojack Horseman suggests...
I agree.
I agree. That's what's wrong with. That's like some of the thing that's wrong with BoJack is that the nigga. That's how he deems life because that's how he was like kind of taught. So like, if the nigga does something bad, he's like, "Oh my god, I gotta do this so everybody can see me as good." Like, it's kind of how BoJack is.
Yeah,
I
he
agree
was
with
taught by
Diane.
TV.
You said what?
Yeah, he was taught by TV. Like, there's only one good, like, There's a good and then there's bad, and that's really it. But
I
there's
mean,
more to it.
yeah, because that's all he had. I mean, his mom and dad, those niggas not good people. His mom literally told him, "You better do something with your life, because if not, that you was just a mistake." Like God,
That was
bro, his parents was ruthless, and his father was like, "Yeah, I don't know why your mother." Like his father was telling him how women needs to be treated. They need to make sandwiches and stuff. Like them niggas was nasty people. Like them, he had some nasty parents. So all nigga had was TV, and then he grew up on a TV show that he watches all the time himself. So that's all he know. If I do something bad, then I'm a bad person. But nah, you just people. Diane is like so real in the show, but she don't take her own advice sometimes. Like, but Diane is real though.
That's how it be. That's how it be
That
though.
is true.
That's real.
That
That's
is
a real
true.
life thing
That
though.
is true. And Mr. Peanut Butter fumbled, bro.
Labeling people as good or bad is largely reductive. Because if you're deemed bad, your negative actions are lumped into one indistinguishable pile, and anything good you do is automatically disregarded, making the prospect of change pointless. Or you use being bad
Oh
as
my
an
god, what he
excuse
did to her was so bad, bro. Oh my
Yeah.
god. He blamed her for the thing. He blamed her for it, bro.
your behavior, which just relinquishes your own responsibility from the actions.
Yeah, the
that you
nigga
do
told her,
in
the nigga
fact.
said, "You're just a hairdresser." So that was so. This nigga is so nasty, bro. That nigga's so nasty.
Control.
You're never going to be good because you're not bad. So you need to stop using that as an excuse.
Conversely,
Mm.
being a good
That's
person
real.
either underplays or even dismisses your bad behavior.
What's her
That's
name,
exactly the
bro?
problem. Because he's so nice, people don't want to think he's capable of
Name.
awful things, so they let him off the hook.
Or it sets you to an unrealistic
That's real,
standard
too.
where you're not allowed to make mistakes. Raphael expanded on this in an old blog post. He wrote, "When people self-identify as good, they believe that their actions can't possibly be bad, because they were actions done with the best of intentions by a good
That fit
person.
Mr. Peanut Butter,
And any
too.
criticism of their actions becomes a criticism of them, a criticism which they must ultimately dismiss to continue feeling like they are good. So neither options are desirable, because as soon as you're dubbed either good or bad, there's only so much you can be."
Bojack, you ruin everything. That's what you are. And it actually took him saying it out loud for me to realize how stupid that is.
We're well versed in the
Bruh,
extent.
Bojack, like them two, the great Bojack jerk off. Bojack. the two or three episodes of Bojack when he was like visiting. Bro, stop laughing because I'm trying to explain what I'm about to say. The 2 or 3 episodes where Bojack was like, when he went to Diane, he was talking to Diane after rehab. Those are like the best versions of Bojack. Them 2 episodes right there, and then he was teaching about how to act with those people. Those are the things about Bojack. And I hate when niggas be like, "Oh, they really all that stuff had to catch up with him when he was doing so good." That's how that works, nigga. That's how that works. Just unfortunate. Bro, stop.
Insane pause.
Bro, I didn't even.
Of Bojack's bad actions, so we're not going to weigh them out or spend too much time on them. Honestly, we'd be here all day.
Literally.
And Bojack explicitly breaks down the why of his actions in season 6, so we're not going to fixate too much on the psychology surrounding those actions. What I'm more interested in exploring in relation to the morality of Bojack's character is his impact on the audience, and the subsequent conversations going on behind the scenes. The writers were deliberately very cognizant of what was being said online about the show, and what viewers thought of Bojack as a character. In The Art Before the Horse, Chris McDonnell wrote, "Discussion in the writer's room often has centered around how far they can push Bojack's behavior without making him irredeemable." Staff writer Joe Lawson said
That's crazy.
that scene with Penny and Bojack on the boat was days and days of conversation. Mainly the conversation was, can we make Bojack irredeemable? And the answer is no. But we wanted to get right up to that line.
Yeah. Honestly, my nigga, it was right there. Because if that nigga would have done that, there's nothing you can. Like, that's it, my nigga.
That's yeah.
If that nigga would have done that's it, bro. Jake Paul and Logan Paul has a new reality show. But yeah, my bad. I was on Twitter for a second. Yeah, if that would happen, but there would be no coming back from that would no come back Bojack. Like, that's no saving nigga. Like, honestly, my nigga, even like the nigga when he would like redeem himself with the rehab and then him teaching and stuff, I would have said, nigga, don't matter. You still had sex with a minor. Like, I wouldn't even like defended the ending of Bojack. I wouldn't even defended it, bro. Like, you had sex with a minor, bro.
That was it.
You said what?
Yeah, nope. That's just nasty.
And the sad part about it is that nigga had an opportunity to tell her mother, like, yo, go check your daughter. She's trying to have sex with me. That nigga had an opportunity to check her, but he didn't. The nigga let her slide, and when he couldn't get the mother, the nigga went for the daughter. Like, that's so disgusting.
It's nasty.
That is nasty work. The nigga didn't, cause bro, I'm just saying, a real nigga would have checked, because he did check Penny there, but he would have checked her mother and be like, yo, no cap, your daughter just tried to like do something with me, and I told her no because that's weird. Like, that's what a real nigga would do. But nigga name is Bojack Horseman, and he really did go to. The nigga went to New Mexico. You know how much ego you got to go to a different state. Somebody you haven't talked to for almost 20 years, and you think you can pull them out of their family where they're established, nigga? That.
Oh, nasty too.
And he went to New Mexico knowing that Charlotte was there, and was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to try to get Charlotte. Like, nigga, you are not him, Bojack. I'm sorry, but you're not. Like, nah, he wasn't doing that, bro. Ain't no normal person pulling somebody out of their family core. Like, I don't know her husband's name because that nigga's relevant. But the nigga's not a bad person, so I don't know what he was gonna do. Like, if he was like abusive in something, I would have been like, yo, yeah, Bojack, do that. But she had a good family, bro. She had a store. She ran a store. Like, she ran a store. She had 2 kids, bro. One nigga was a chronic masturbator, but it's fine. She had a 17-year-old daughter, and then she had a good husband. Like,
yeah, she had a good life. But yeah, she did. Well, yeah, she did.
Well, yeah, she did. Nigga, Bojack ruined it, so, but she did.
Are we going to be able to come back from this? It was a genuine concern. They didn't want to make Bojack irredeemable to the audience. They didn't want to cross that line.
Thank you.
But
I'm
they
glad.
did at the end of season 3 with the death of Sarah.
Oh.
Raphael Bob Waxman
But-
told IndieWire, I saw a lot of reaction from people when season 3 ended, saying, I'm done with this character. Bojack is unredeemable. He's unforgivable. He's crossed the last threshold of my compassion. I can't care about this character anymore.
That's the
When
point.
Raphael saw Bojack's actions had finally crossed that line, he tried to adjust. It's like, after season 3, the writers felt they needed to swing the pendulum in the other direction toward likability to get the audience back in the gray area. So, they took Bojack out of the hot seat for season 4. And although he's nowhere near perfect, and definitely has some bad moments, comparatively, there's a noticeable difference. It's not that Bojack does anything that incredible in season 4. He's still very much
Damn.
himself.
Holy fuck.
But let's be real, the bar is really low, so it's easy for him to impress. Like,
That's true.
Bojack's worst acts are so terrible that when he goes through a whole season without permanently traumatizing someone, he automatically looks like a saint. Season 4 also narratively works in Bojack's favor. He isn't in the first episode, so the audience has time to feel his absence and actually miss him. He does some good things. He helps Princess Carolyn, he lets Beatrice move in with him, and he bonds with a new significant character, Hollyhock.
Season 4 was straightforward.
Also includes a fan-favorite episode shedding light on his internal monologue, making fans sympathize with him more. On top of that, the worst thing that happens is, for once, not really his fault. And the season ends on a high note, with him doing something selfless, helping Hollyhock find her mother. All of this worked a little too well. In their efforts to make Bojack find a middle ground with the audience, the writers
They worked
overcorrected,
too well.
where at the end of season 3,
Yeah.
Bojack was flat out hated by fans. By the end of season 4, he was beloved. Raphael said, at the end of
Oh.
season
These niggas-
4, a lot
These niggas, nigga. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't like love the nigga. I mean, the nigga just had a good season. I mean, them niggas did it too well. Dang,
That's
just went, "Oh my
crazy.
God,
People
we
are
love
quick.
that's what I'm saying. My nigga, didn't the nigga just you saw what he did, right? Like,
Yeah, that's way too quick.
yeah, I
Like,
know niggas are quick. I mean, because yeah, I didn't feel that way. I mean, I like BoJack as a character in general. So I mean, what he does, I mean, I was like mad nigga, but I never like really hated him or never
yeah,
deemed him. I never deemed him unredeemable. I never have. I never have. So I don't feel that way. I mean, I know. I mean, the worst thing he's done is that 17 minutes. Oh my god, but
that's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like that is up there with the worst thing he's done. So like, but the thing about that is like, what made it worse is the 17 minutes thing. We didn't know about that until the end of the show. So what he did with Sarah Lynn was bad, but we just thought that it was just unfortunate that she overdosed. Like we didn't know about the 17 minutes thing. So yeah, I don't think he's. I ain't go that far though. Dang, niggas are quick to change. It's crazy, bro. Nigga,
bro, like, that's really quick.
I know, dang, niggas in one season. But that nigga did do good that season though. You can't even lie. He did. That nigga, yeah,
Well,
that nigga did
for
good
the
that
most
season.
part.
Yeah, well, for BoJack standards, my nigga, like for
For the
BoJack
most part,
standards,
yeah,
man.
he did
I'm
pretty
so
good.
happy he's happy. He found the way to be.
I'm so
There's
happy
someone
he's
in
happy.
his life now. This is great. This is wonderful. I wanted to say, hold on. The guy at the end of season 4 is the same as the guy at the end of season 3.
Literally,
And I think the end of-
that's what I thought. I mean, I was happy for BoJack. You know, he got Holly Hawk. You know, he could be a brother, not a father. Because BoJack as a father is crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but that's crazy. So, yeah, he has a sister. You know, the nigga didn't do anything that bad, but I still remember what that nigga did in season 3, 2, and 1, my nigga.
Exactly. Like,
I did not forgive that nigga. I don't know what these niggas on.
of
it's the
season
same
3
character
BoJack
as it
does not
was in season
discount
3.
the end of season
Literally.
4 BoJack. The end of season 4 BoJack also does not forgive the end of season 3 BoJack. How do you
Exactly.
live with this guy who is both those things? Yes, it's true that BoJack's flaws make him more complex. But being more complex also makes him harder to understand.
I know.
And if he's harder to
the point.
understand, he's easier to misinterpret. The inevitable reality is, the more fleshed out BoJack becomes, the more likely people are to defend, rationalize, or justify.
And this is what I'm saying. Wait, what? Wait, what?
That's nasty.
BoJack is blamed for a thing he didn't usually do or had anything. First off, let's start with Charlotte. I don't understand why you would blame him. He told her off and she still pursued. It was her fault. She was 17 and a 7-year-old person, not a kid. Not to mention her mother was so disturbed that she didn't know what her daughter was trying to do. BoJack was caught in a bad situation, seriously. Yo, accomplished big 7666. You are being reported. I'm gonna find out who you are, and I'm reporting you to the police. My
Yeah,
nigga.
you're nasty.
No. You're defending somebody who was about to. No. Does anyone feel as though Sarah Lynn was just responsible for her own death as BoJack was? No, you're an idiot. You don't realize what Sarah Lynn said to BoJack. Sarah Lynn literally said to BoJack, "You're like a father to me. Like I see you do everything." And Sarah Lynn was literally sober on her own accord for a year. Until BoJack called up and said, "Come on, Sarah Lynn, do this bit with me." Bet. Because it was BoJack. And she literally said, BoJack, if it was anybody else but you, I wouldn't do this.
Oh my god.
Come on, man. BoJack is blamed for I think he didn't intentionally do or had even part in. Like, no. Niggas not. That's just nasty to say. No, Sarah Lynn was not just as responsible. No, because I think Sarah Lynn, I'm not saying she's not responsible at all, but I think BoJack is way more, especially with that 17 minutes thing.
Yeah, BoJack like really like influenced. He pushed that needle.
Yeah, that is
Really
it.
like pushed that needle and had her do the drugs.
And then when Sarah Lynn was like, "You have your own heroin, or we gotta do this," BoJack could have said, "No, let's not do that." Like,
Yeah, because he knew it was strong, right?
yes. Literally, that episode where they was dealing BoJack, literally niggas was like, "Yo, BoJack, man, your heroin is so strong." Nigga, somebody died in Cully Whisker's pool because of how strong it was.
By his
That's
actions. In a Gothamist interview, when asked if he worried about certain audience members romanticizing Bojack, Raphael said, "Yes, I do worry about that. I think there's only so much that I can do to prevent that without being completely didactic and naked. But I am doing what I can because I do think it's important to kind of keep reminding the audience that Bojack is a cautionary tale, not a role model. And as much as we want you to care about him or empathize with him, you don't want to be him.
No, I
And
don't.
if you see
Yeah,
parts of
nigga.
yourself in him or parts of him in yourself, that is something to be concerned about, not comforted by. Although sometimes, not always, I will say, there are ways in which it is okay to be comforted by him. And that's what makes it a sticky, difficult thing, is that I also want our
Sticky.
audience to feel comforted and feel like it's okay to be depressed, or it's okay to have these self-hating feelings, or it's okay to come from a broken home. I think the way that Bojack reacts to this stuff is not always okay. I think that's an important distinction to make. So it's tricky, because the writers of the show do want us to feel empathy for Bojack, but that's a slippery slope. And despite their attempts to counteract misinterpretation, some of these gray areas are baked into the structure of the show. Already, we're intrinsically conditioned to root for the protagonist.
Onions.
And sometimes it's easy to forget, but Bojack Horseman is a comedy. With that territory comes lighthearted jokes that lean into Bojack's alcoholism and addiction issues in a way not dissimilar to kitschy wine mom merch.
I just use a small dose to help
Okay.
me fall asleep at night, and then a much, much larger dose to get me through the day.
Can we please get some alcohol into my mouth?
There are jokes that lean into Bojack's worst traits, his selfishness, stubbornness, and carelessness.
Bojack, you really shouldn't throw a lit cigarette off the... Fine, I'll call 911.
I don't want the muffins. I was just looking at them. But I gotta say, if you put muffins down, they're not your muffins.
These jokes are often played in a similar vein as Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Endearing in their bluntness, relatable in sentiment more than execution.
That thing where you make a big deal over nothing and everyone laughs at you, but also at the same time we relate because you're saying all the things polite society won't.
Bojack Horseman offers up these little bits of comedic
Nasty.
hedonism in more episodes than not, but offsets their toxicity.
He did
by
it, she was
also
like
showing
half
the
sex with me. That was
audience
crazy.
Bojack's actions ultimately have very real and very permanent consequences. Still, there are people who fixate on the humor and ignore the underlying messages. There are fans who view flashbacks of Bojack's neglectful childhood not as reasons for his adult behavior, but
That
as
nigga
excuses
that
for
nigga
it.
smell that nigga.
There are people who equate Bojack's sadness and regret for his actions to earning exoneration of them. Some people see Bojack with his money, fame, and womanizing nature as cool or aspirational. Or
How's that cool?
Niggas see that as cool, bro. I want to see these niggas. Like, is there a Reddit? Is there a Discord? Because I gotta know.
Oh, yeah,
your
there's
thought
Reddit.
process. No, I know there's
Definitely
Reddit.
Reddit.
I'm just saying. No, I know because I'm in it. But I'm just saying. Like, I want to see like new niggas. I want to see their thought process because, bro, no, what Bojack is not cool. I think Bojack is relatable to a certain extent. Keyword certain extent. Like, some of the stuff he go through is relatable to some people, like broken homes. You know, some niggas don't know how to adjust to that. Makes sense. But what Bojack does after that is not right. What, nigga, you abusing your father figure of Sarah Lynn and then blaming it on the way that your father figure was on you, nigga. That's not, no, nigga, no.
Yeah,
Somebody
you're
who
supposed
you
to do better.
somebody who you saw as a father, somebody who saw you as a father, you had sex with them, like, no, no, nigga. No,
Stop. Ugh. That was nasty. Damn, I tried to block out that. That was nasty.
And that was like what, episode 3 or 4?
Yeah, that was like one. Yeah, that was like one of the beginning episodes.
That was like one of the first
Yeah.
episodes. And then like, well, yeah, it was nasty, but then we got more context on the Sarah Lynn thing about how she felt about Bojack. That's even nastier. Like,
they relate
Exactly,
to Bojack's
like-
faults, but instead of using his desire to be better as motivation for themselves, they use Bojack's character to wallow in their own toxicity. Fans viewing Bojack as someone they want to be or someone they revel in being similar to is exactly what Raphael doesn't want.
Yeah, I
On
know.
The podcast, talking
hey,
to the
hey. If anybody sees themselves in that nigga, like, not like I'm saying, like the stuff that he does, like how he abuses women and abuses their power, you need help, my nigga. There is hotlines for rehab centers. You need help, my nigga.
Yeah, like that's.
I'm not even like trolling right now. You need help, bro.
Everything he does is just like it's not good.
Literally, but the only thing you can see him as relatable is like the depression, and then you're seeing how it affects him. Yes, it does, but how he abuses the thing that he uses, that was a bar right there. And then how he abused those things on other people, nigga, that's not good, nigga. He Todd had a career making what rock operas, my nigga. It was actually good, and then the nigga sold it. That's not. If you relate to that, nigga, you need help. The nigga choked out his ex-girlfriend because she exposed him. If you relate to that,
You need help.
no, he need more. He go to jail. The nigga, like, come on, bro. I don't gotta keep on going listening that he did, but at that point, it'll be over by itself. At that point,
Like
that nigga
17 minutes, bro. You need help.
that was just insane, bro.
Raphael said,
I like
That
having
nigga
flawed
chop.
characters, and I think that can be very helpful for an audience to see a flawed character. But the question is, what do you do with those flawed characters, and how do you continue to show them in a real flawed way that doesn't feel like you are indulging their flaws? And I think it is good for flaws to be normalized and people to understand, oh, this thing that I thought that made me a terrible person.
I love that nigga on that podcast.
I see that
I'm talking Bojack all the time. That nigga.
these characters are capable of forgiveness, so maybe I could be forgiven too. I think that is a wonderful thing. I don't want people to take away from my show, oh, I will automatically be forgiven because I feel bad, which I think is a message some people do take from the show. Which
That's nasty. People think that.
No. And they shouldn't. Because all the stuff that happened to Bojack at the end and how he went to jail, that showcased that you just because you feel bad is not I'm gonna go away. Because I like what it did end. Because Bojack did so much stuff, it was like, dang, like only the audience gonna feel bad for him. Like the nigga choked out Gina and they used it as he was acting too bad. Nigga, what? Like that was insane. So I'm glad that little pig, I forgot her name, like how she was able to dissect everything Bojack did and be able to use it against him, even though he went to jail for breaking and entering, not that. It's still better than him not getting nothing for it. I don't care. That was crazy.
Yeah. I'm glad they took the jail route because like death is too much of an easy option.
Yeah. He shouldn't have died. I don't agree with that. I'm glad he didn't die. He deserved everybody that cut him off. The nigga deserved it. Like when PC said, "I'll help you. I'll give you some clients, help you out." He deserves it. PC, bruh. With that nigga Bojack gone, now PC can understand. Like, oh yeah, I could do a great thing without Bojack. I don't need him. I got Judah now. I got Ruthie. Like, I'm so good without Bojack. Like now niggas know Diane. She is so much better without that nigga. I'm glad even though she let herself go. I'm glad that she was able to realize like Bojack's not good for her. The only nigga he asked for is what? Mr. Peanut Butter, but he's different. And then Todd, that's really it.
Well, Mr. Peanut Butter is like not. I don't think Mr. Peanut Butter is gonna.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's different. He's not gonna cut Bojack off, nigga. He's not gonna do that.
They're gonna cut him off, but like he's not gonna be with him all the time.
Yeah, I know. He's not gonna.
I mean, like hold his hand.
Yeah, I know. Thank God. Yeah, I'm glad.
And Todd definitely cut him off.
Yeah, I know. Todd. I think Todd cut him off. I mean, I'm not gonna say cut him off. I think he's still like gonna talk to the nigga.
Yeah, I feel like he can rekindle his relationships.
But I don't think Todd is ever gonna like.
Take time.
I don't think Todd's ever gonna be close to him as he was before. That's what I'm gonna say. But I think they're still like talkative. But I don't think they're ever gonna talk again. Diane told the nigga like, "It is my last time talking to you, my nigga." Diane told him, and she said, "I'm never coming back to LA." She said it. So she was being real. I mess with Diane.
I mean, I think he has a chance to rekindle his relationships. He just needs to.
I don't think Diane. I don't think Diane. I think Diane has
maybe
like
not
genuinely
Diane.
done with him. Yeah, I think Diane genuinely done with him. I don't think Diane will. But I think PC. But PC said they're still cool, just not on a business level. So he's good with PC. I think Todd he definitely can. But Diane, no, Diane's gone. She said she's not doing it. And then she said it. She said, "I'm not coming back to LA." She said it. Yeah, Diane is cooked. He's never doing Diane again. Nah. I mean, well, he never did Diane, but he's never being friends with Diane again. Yeah.
Positive reception of Bojack
I want to do
as a
Diane.
character
Hey, come on, let's go.
Okay.
Was already
That
concerning
nigga so
to
stop.
Raphael Bob Waxberg.
Stop
And
it.
then he got
That's
word
the guy who
Harvey
made your show.
Weinstein
Come
was
on, bro.
a fan of Bojack Horseman. Raphael told HuffPost, "When I heard that story, the idea that Harvey Weinstein..."
What? Wait. Harvey Weinstein said he relates to him. Is that what he said?
Wait, what?
And then he got word that Harvey Weinstein was a fan of Bojack Horseman. Raphael told...
Oh, nah.
Creator grapples with it.
Harvey Weinstein is a fan.
He counts himself among the fans of Bojack Horseman. What?
Old HuffPost. When I heard that story, the idea that Harvey Weinstein watched my show really gave me chills. And I thought, what is he getting out of it? Does he watch it and go, yeah, that's right, that's the way to be? Us Hollywood guys, we're trouble. What are you going to do with us? These instances,
that's
along
crazy.
with the rise of the Me Too movement, were
not
strong
safe.
influences on the writing and direction of where the show would go next. And where they ended up going is kind of ingenious. In season 5, Bojack takes on the role of Detective John Filbert, the lead in a new dark detective drama show. Working within this series allowed the Bojack writers space to stretch out one of their familiar strengths, commenting on the entertainment industry, to explore a facet they hadn't yet examined, one that, not so coincidentally, paralleled their own. Many fans have speculated what TV show Filbert is specifically based on, and there has been some confirmation that True Detective was an inspiration, with a similar intro and mystery format. But Raphael has made it clear that Filbert is more of a catch-all than one singular series, a coalescence of shows that contain a, quote, unexamined male anti-hero. Though Filbert serves another purpose. While
Like Breaking
Bojack
Bad?
writers play with genre-relevant tropes, they also use this fictional protagonist, John Filbert, to represent Bojack. As a character, yeah, but also as the audience sees him. They don't hold back either. The writers firmly establish the parallel between Filbert
my favorite
and
episodes
Bojack
on
right out of the
Filbert.
gate at the start of season 5. Both characters share similar names, and both shows are named after them. Filbert's house doesn't just look like Bojack's house.
Which
they
is crazy.
verbally acknowledge the similarity twice. Bojack and Filbert are essentially sleeping with the same person. Bojack hates Filbert for the same reasons he hates himself. The episode begins with a party at Filbert's and ends with a party at Bojack's. From the get-go, it's very consciously not subtle, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize that.
You didn't realize what? That they had a party after?
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, nigga, it is so similar. It's actually like disgusting. Like that's why I love that episode so much, because the way they're able to parallel like real life and like what's actually going on, you don't know like if it's real or not. Like when Gina was holding the pills and like you're addicted, Bojack started as like the actual show, and he was like, "Yo, Bojack, this is not the show. This is real life." Like, that's why I like the episode so much, my nigga, because the way he did it.
Yeah, they cooked. Like I knew they were paralleling like his life and Filbert's, but like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he did basically everything, which is, and the Phil McVicker talk about something. Oh, I didn't know your house was like that. Yes, you did, my nigga. Ain't no way. The nigga didn't know this house is that similar, that nigga. It looked too similar if you did not to copy.
Right.
Yeah, you get it.
By holding up a mirror to Bojack and Filbert, the writers also reflect that mirror onto themselves. They use this show within a show as a conduit to speak directly to the audience.
It's a TV show. It doesn't glamorize anything, but maybe it normalizes it.
Later in the season, Diane in particular echoes the writer's thoughts, while Bojack represents the fans misinterpreting and glorifying Filbert's, but really Bojack's character.
What this show says is that we're all terrible, so therefore we're all okay.
What? I didn't know it would feel like that, to be in that room, to hear people cheering for Filbert.
And though Diane's methods are at times repugnant at best,
that was a
we
good
will
word.
Get there. The message is clear.
That's not the point of Filbert, for guys to watch it and feel okay. I wanted to make Filbert more well-rounded.
I never thought of it like that.
Relate to him better. I made him more vulnerable, and that made him more likable, which makes for a better TV show. But if Filbert is just a way to help dumb assholes rationalize their own awful behavior, well, I'm sorry,
That's crazy.
I never thought of it like that, as the writers are Diane, and then I thought of it like that as in like Filbert. But I didn't think of it as like Bojack. That's like really good writing. Oh my god, nigga. That's crazy. I never thought of it like that.
Amazing writing. Shit. They really cooked on
that.
this show.
That is fire. I knew it as in like, you know, how Diane sees the show and then how she's Bojack. I knew that. But I didn't know that's how the writers felt and then Bojack was the audience. That's crazy. Well, Bojack is not all the audience because I'm not misinterpreting Bojack. Like, the nigga is not a good person.
Arguably, out of all of the characters, Diane Nguyen struggles with morality the most,
She
solely
does.
because she cares about
She let
morality
herself
the
go.
most. Unlike other characters who,
Stop
for
saying
much of
that.
the show,
Stop
either
saying-
don't really think about ethics, actively try not to think about them, or only think about them when it's convenient, Diane is someone who genuinely wants to do good in the world. In her earliest rendition, Diane was not a writer, but a development exec, still tasked with the role of helping Bojack with his comeback. Because Bojack's normal world
Honey
is the
Bucket?
entertainment industry and the corruption
that was her
that comes
name?
with his comeback.
Look, Honey Bucket.
But a development exec, still
Diane, human, is Honey Bucket's girlfriend, cynical and clever. She's a development exec who likes Bojack.
Wants to help him make his comeback. Bojack is in love with her, but he is too proud, stubborn, lazy to put the effort into trying to win her over.
Because he's not trying. Because not trying is better than trying and failing.
Oh, that's probably Mr. Peanut Butter's name. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Honey Bucket was Mr. Peanut Butter nigga before. I guess that was his name, and then they changed his name. I mean, at the beginning, like, what was the episode? Like, the episode where Bojack was trying to win Diane over. That whole episode, Diane was like throwing little hints, nigga, and nods. So.
Oh yeah, with the.
Yeah, she was. No, she was. It was like actually insane. And then when she would make those hints, she would like pull her hair back, like what females do. So when I watched her first time, I thought them niggas get together, which I didn't like that, but I thought it was. So I'm glad Diane realized that. Yeah, because her and Bojack would have not been good together. That would have been so cooked. Oh my god.
I'm glad they were friends.
It is gonna be really good friends because Diane's able to check Bojack. Because Diane was checking that nigga. And then Bojack as a girlfriend needs somebody like honestly, Wanda was so good for that nigga. Too bad he messed that up too.
Yeah, I mean he had a chance to save it, he just didn't.
Yeah, he had to. He was like, no, he's done. Bojack is in love with her, but too stubborn and lazy to put effort to try to win her over. Yeah, that's not real because I mean the nigga really did all them games and stuff. I need to stop pausing because
the role of helping Bojack with his comeback. Because Bojack's normal world is the entertainment industry and the corruption that comes with it, it makes sense that they would want to separate Diane from that world in order to highlight her moral contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Diane outlines her moral philosophy a few times throughout the show.
I don't think I believe in deep down. I kind of think all you are is just the things that you do.
She defines
It's
people
real.
by their actions, so she tries to make her actions good. While some people prioritize money or following a passion when they pursue a career, Diane seeks purpose and meaning through her writing. Because of this,
That's
it's
real.
easy for her to become disillusioned when she's faced with reality.
When I first moved to LA, I thought I was going to be doing really important work. You know, just writing stuff that makes a difference. How do I make people care about the important stuff when all they want to do is read articles about who got slayed and who owned at the VMAs?
Diane is an idealist in a corrupt world. She's a compassionate person who feels deeply and is understandably affected by the injustices around her. The bad that exists simultaneously weighs her down and enrages her.
We're doing feminism. It's supposed to be
Feminism is bae.
For me.
But where most people can vaguely accept or ignore the injustices in the world and continue on in their day, Diane can't. She's impulsive and highly reactive, and sometimes I really respect her for it. Like, in Hank After Dark, while on a book tour with Bojack, Diane offhandedly references allegations against beloved late-night host Hank Hippopopoulos. The public backlash is instantaneous, but Diane stands her ground. She bravely defends the
Diane
victims,
stand on business.
women she doesn't even personally know, and
God.
continues to, even after being ruthlessly defamed by the media and receiving literal death threats from people who know where she lives. But as intelligent and well-informed as she is, Diane has a tendency to get caught in the details and only focus on what's right in front of her. When this happens, she's often unable to take a step back, separate her feelings or thoughts from a situation, and see the bigger picture. We see this over and over again throughout the series. Like when she accidentally tweets on pop star Sextina Aquafina's Twitter, prompting Sextina to publicly abort her fictional dolphin and make a pretty radical
my
music video
God.
about it. Diane is quick to criticize her for causing a negative effect on society.
I gotta take the high road and go on the news and rat those suckers out.
Is that really a good idea?
Despite being Sextina's literal social media manager, it takes a teenager approaching Diane for her to realize that the young female fans that are directly affected by Sextina's extreme approach actually view it as satirical and empowering.
And when you can joke about it, it makes makes it less scary, you know?
Yeah.
Again and again, Diane gets the lines between ethics and her personal feelings blurred. And sometimes, when she's in vigilante mode, these blinders can even make her immune to her own hypocrisy.
It is illegal for a restaurant to serve people water before they ask for it.
That's what I'm saying.
In season
Like Diane, like. If I was to date her, bro, and she would do all them outbursts like that would really piss me off. Like, sit your ass. Sit your ass down and talk about some water, my nigga. Like, come on, bro. Doing too much. Ain't no Silky you do too much. Diane, you do it too much, bro. God, dang. That's real, bro. That water scene, like, it didn't piss me off, but it was like, come on, Diane, sit your little ass down, my nigga. Like, come on, my nigga. Sit your stuff down to get mad at me for fracking.
5, Diane is upset when What Time Is It Right Now hires Vance Wagner to work on Filbert. She scolds his publicist, Anna Spanakopita, for working with him.
When you, as a woman, give awful men the cover of your friendship, you are then complicit. No, you're culpable for the terrible things they do.
This backfires when Anna has Vance Wagner parrot the speech as a reason why he won't work
Feminist
on Filbert.
AF.
While Diane zeroes in on how
That episode
Filbert
was so
is in the
nasty, bro.
wrong, the truth is that she is too. Diane is arguably Bojack's closest friend. Even though she doesn't initially know everything that we know. She wasn't with us in New Mexico with Penny or the planetarium with Sarah Lynn. Diane still knows who Bojack is, and she still supports him despite it. Beyond their friendship, Diane is largely responsible for Bojack's comeback. Way back in season 1, when Diane was his memoirist, she leaked the first few chapters of One Trick Pony because she knew the public reception would be positive.
That nigga
she
was
knew
pissed
exactly who Bojack was, and she believed the book would make him liked.
Know about that apple fritter?
Look at that goofy ass nigga in the back. That goofy ass. Yo, nigga. Nigga, cut your hair off, bro. It's not. Bruh, look at him, nigga. Bruh, let the hair go, bro. You already bald, but just let the hair go. Just let it go. Just let it go, bro.
I remember that scene was so good too, and then I just remember seeing it.
Bruh, I didn't. The first time I watched it, I didn't peep it, but the second time I watched it, I was just dying laughing because that goofy ass nigga in the back, that weird expression, and he just looking like.
Him liked and culturally relevant again, and she fought for it to happen, and it did. Yes,
and they got a Golden Globe.
Bojack's actions are his actions, and no one else is responsible for them. But by helping his career and supporting him as a friend, Diane is the person she outwardly condemns.
When you, as a woman, give awful men the cover of your friendship, you are then complicit.
I did not think of it like that.
For the terrible things they do.
She doesn't even begin to consider this until Anna makes her confront her own hypocrisy by playing her the audio of Bojack talking about Penny. The worst instance of Diane's hypocrisy happens after she hears Bojack's tape, and it might be the most unethical thing Diane does in the entire show.
No sex tape.
After listening to the tape, and after Bojack tells her they're the same, Diane takes over Flip's script.
Oh my
and
God!
writes a scene with Filbert that parallels what happened in New Mexico.
Yeah, that was nasty for Bojack to say. Tell them they're the same. No, they not. No, y'all niggas they're not. That nigga Peanut Butter's crying.
Oh, I remember that.
What do you mean? You know what?
When Diane found out about the Penny shit.
Yeah, nigga, that's what she was talking. That's what she was talking about.
Interpreted. I remember that.
Yeah, no, yeah. When she cooked with that script because it was so similar. Wait, hold up. I can't. Hold up. No, I gotta.
They have to use cue cards.
Okay, thank you. I couldn't look at that because that nigga was like crying. It made me laugh. When she cooked on that script because she literally like everything that was happening word for word that happened, it happened. And Bojack was sitting there like, what is going on? Like that. She cooked.
And the director's weird because he was just letting it just happen.
Yeah, I know. He literally said, "Oh, this script." He said, "This is so good." Yeah, I know. Nigga is weird, bro. Nigga name is Flip McVicker.
But for Diane, it's also a way to intentionally catch Bojack off guard. On a cinematic level, it's an incredible scene that really pulls you in, and the tension is only heightened by the rush production is in to get the scene done. You can feel Bojack's confusion and shock as he starts to realize that he's seen this film before, and he didn't like the ending. But if we were to approach this scene purely from an ethical stance, Diane's actions are, well, They're horrible.
Yeah,
Diane
that's
is
not
smart
good.
enough to surmise that the girl from the tape is Bojack's old friend Charlotte's daughter, and even that Bojack went to Penny's college on his bender with Sarah Lynn. But despite having all of that information, she somehow doesn't stop to consider the impact this scene airing would have on Penny. Diane's not thinking about the actual victim in the situation, and how she might feel if she just casually walked into a room and saw the scene playing on a TV, which, by the way, is incredibly plausible. Filbert is a
Nigga.
popular show in this world. Bojack the show also establishes that Penny's
Nigga,
family
watch
was
the
his
stream.
birthday dad. The TV could be left on. Her friends could talk about it. This episode
watch
could
the
play on
stream, bro?
TV in the diner where she works. She could go on Twitter and read about it. Penny could even seek it out herself. It's totally feasible that after Bojack ambushes her at school, she likes to keep tabs on him and know where he is so she feels safe. The point is, there are
That's
a
real.
myriad of
That's what
ways
anybody
that
would do,
Penny
really.
could organically find out about this scene. And for just a second, because Diane didn't, let's consider what she would think if she did. Penny's first thought might be, is Bojack mocking what happened? Do the writers of the show know? Is it supposed to be some kind of sick joke at her expense? Is it his grandiose way of apologizing? Or is it some kind of a threat to say, look how easily I can exploit your trauma for entertainment and get away with it? But even in the most innocuous scenario, if Bojack was giving the writers ideas, he didn't have to pick USS New Mexico, but he did, planting it like an Easter egg, knowing that she would recognize
Easter
it.
egg is nasty
Is he
work.
trying to get her attention? None of the answers to these hypotheticals add up to anything remotely good. They're all rabbit holes that Penny has no way of knowing the answer to without talking to Bojack directly, which, again, could be the very reason he did it, to get her to reach out to him.
True.
Now, of course, we know he didn't, and was ambushed, but that doesn't matter. Because realistically, what conclusion is Penny more likely to come to? That Bojack's close friend who works on the show found out and passive-aggressively confronted him as they shot the scene? Or that Bojack, the star of this TV show, and an alcoholic who has literally stalked Penny at least once before, seeking her out on the other side of the country from where
Nasty
he lives,
work.
intentionally had this scene written into the show for her to see. But Diane does not consider any of this, because she's not thinking about the girl from the tape. She's not even thinking about
She's going
justice.
stupid.
The only thing she wants in this moment is to hurt Bojack. That's all this is, a means to punish him, not even necessarily for what he did, but for not confiding in her about it. This is Diane at her worst. This is her biggest problem because she's objectively right in her moral argument. She feels like she is justified in whatever actions that anger brings, even if it causes more harm than good. Diane weaponizes morality. At her best, Diane wants to have a positive impact on the world. She wants to do good things, to help people and create real change. But what she slowly learns throughout the series is that it can't always be in the way that she envisions. Diane's instinct is to fight the current head-on, in whatever form it may take, but often this can lead to her setting unrealistic expectations for herself and others because she believes it's the right thing to do. But it's like swimming in a riptide. The straight, instinctive path to shore is the one that causes swimmers to get exhausted and drown. Diane's depressive episodes are a direct result of growing tired and frustrated doing what she thinks she should be doing, what she views as the ideal path that aligns with her morals, the path that doesn't always work.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. She's cooking, bro. That's why I've been talking, because I'm listening. She's cooking.
Yeah,
Everything she said about Diane is like 100% dead on. I'm not saying everybody else she said was like incorrect, but I knew about the PC Bojack. Like, those niggas, you know, I kind of been watching, understanding. Diane is a very complex character that a lot of niggas don't understand. So that's why I like her so much. And plus, you know. So, like, she's cooking, bro. I ain't gonna lie. She's cooking. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
You know. No, she's cooking though. She did a really good job.
Yeah, she did really good. This is like really good. Like, this is how YouTuber 101. I mean, this is like what you gotta do. Like, this is really good, bro. This is really good. I can't even lie. This is a really good video.
Work. But the best path isn't always the most obvious, and failure on one route doesn't mean you can't get to where you want to be on another. This is a lesson that Diane learns throughout the show. Just because you only see one way to go doesn't mean there aren't other directions that lead to the same or even a better place. Because Diane doesn't have to travel to war-torn Cordovia to be able to directly help people. She doesn't need to work at the New Yorker to write articles that start important conversations, and she doesn't have to create a memoir on damage for her writing to help people deal with their own. The most fulfilled version of Diane we see is when she lets herself take a path she typically
So
wouldn't.
herself go to.
Here.
Hey, yeah, the best version of Diane is like the last season when she did really good. I mean, she was started taking her meds. You know, she was with that nigga. What's that nigga's name? Nigga's name? Guy. She was with Guy. I mean, you know, the nigga I don't like a nigga like that, but the nigga is good for her. He's better than Miss Peanut Butter. Yeah, I mean, that was her best season. But when she moved to Chicago, no Michael Jackson, that was probably her best version of herself. That was, man. She did really good.
Asking me to move to Chicago?
Couldn't ask you to do that.
I wouldn't ask you to ask. If Sonny's going to Houston, then we're going.
I'd feel better if you just tried the medication your doctor prescribed.
Well, I'd feel
that.
worse. I don't want to write a middle grade fiction detective series. I decided that one day I would write something that would make little girls like me feel less alone. And if I can't write that book,
Then maybe write this other book.
good luck with your braces. I think they look cool.
Maybe this book
Oh
does
my
that
god.
too.
Sorry.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I get it. It just parts of it felt real, you know?
Bojack, I can't wait for you to be better. I need you in my life. And you can be grateful for them, even if they were never meant to be in your life forever. I'm glad I knew you too.
In so many ways, Bojack Horseman is responsible.
That was
and
so sad.
conscientious in a way that other shows just aren't. And that is largely because of Raphael Bob Waxberg and his belief that television affects people.
But
He
get your hair
believes
off,
that
nigga.
TV
I'm sorry,
has
you
the
already
power to
do.
influence and change how people think. Look, this is a complicated and polarizing topic. How media directly influences people is not an easy thing to measure, and it's something I go back and forth on all the time. Yeah, it's one thing if a show or film is marketed to children. That's much more clear cut. I've talked about that before. But when a TV show or a film is made for adults, it's murkier. And I don't mean if you watch Hannibal, you're gonna want to barbecue somebody. But like, okay, in a HuffPost interview, Raphael discussed how proud he feels when fans tell him Bojack helped them understand their emotions or feel validated from the show's representation of asexuality. He then added, but if I'm going to feel good about those stories, it's disingenuous to say I have the power to affect people in a good way, but how dare you accuse me of affecting people in a bad way? And there does seem to be a consensus that fiction can affect us positively. I've never seen anyone debate that. But when it's proposed that fiction can also affect us negatively, people are quick to disagree. Raphael addressed his perspective on the podcast Talk Easy with Sam Fragoso.
And something I wrestle with on the show.
Come on our
too,
podcast.
is how aware are we when we watch something? Is there enough distance? I am a very susceptible individual of the art that I consume. And I think a lot of these conversations are difficult to have because not everybody...
Hey, my nigga, look. Hey, I know that niggas might not know me, but hey, Raphael Bob Waxberger, my nigga. Come on my podcast. Hey, you never know how social media works, man. It might get to you. Come on our podcast, man. I love your show. Bojack Horseman's your favorite show, my nigga. Come on our podcast. Right, Jose? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Look at this nigga. You not confident. No, we'll do it again. Come on, Jose, nigga. This is a clip, nigga. Come on. We checking this nigga on our podcast. What you doing?
Yeah, come on, bro.
No. I'm going to do it again since you want to. Yeah, come on. No, I'll do it again. Raphael Bob Waxberger, man. This is my official pitch, man. Come on our podcast, all around podcast, you know. We have a whole episode dedicated to you, talking about Bojack, talking about adult animation, all that, man. Come on our podcast, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. I really want to talk about your show. Bojack is a fire show.
You sound like you do not care, nigga. For real, though, I'm not sure, but come on, bro. No.
Yeah, no, like, I really do want to talk about Bojack.
I do too.
And how the production and shit. All that.
Right? I think some people can quite effectively consume art and not be affected by it in that way. And then someone else says, well, you know, this is really influencing people. And they go, what are you talking about? I don't understand that because that is not a feeling that I have when watching it.
No, all
And
the
I'm the
time.
opposite, right? Like when people say, no, I can discern fact from fiction in that way, and I can not be affected by art in that way. I don't understand it, and I kind of don't believe it. When I go see, let's say, like a Wes Anderson movie, and then like for the next day, I'm like talking like Wes Anderson character, you know?
That's what you do?
Yeah, or like Woody Allen, Quentin Tarantino, any of these guys, and those are two guys that I don't want to be like, you know?
They don't always get it right. Despite the show's strong messaging against putting people in good or bad boxes, we are clearly meant to view Vance Wagner as a bad person. Raphael recognizes this double standard. He told HuffPost, as we were breaking down the story about Vance Wagner, we started to think, well, how is Bojack different from this? Are we hypocrites if we constantly want our audience to feel bad for Bojack while also saying what a terrible thing it is that our industry forgives guys like Vance Wagner? And that is honestly very self-aware and valid criticism of themselves. I hate to compare levels of wrongdoings, but if we look purely at the characters' actions, are Vance and Bojack really so different? They've both driven while intoxicated. They've both abused their celebrity status. They've both hurt women. They've both victimized themselves. And to certain extents, they've both been involved with underage girls. What makes it different for Raphael and consequently Diane
Keep
and
cooking.
Ryan's
Somebody
is that
got
Vance
a
Wagner
kitchen.
represents a public figure that Raphael and the writers don't personally know, supposedly Mel Gibson. Raphael has implied that he considers the act of forgiveness of public figures to be different from the forgiveness of people that you personally know. But even though Bojack is technically a public figure too, he's not treated with that same distance. There is a subjectivity of closeness that we don't have with Vance. And again, we're conditioned to root for the protagonist, with the character we spend the most time with. Because of that, it's hard for us to be fully objective. It's contradictory and complicated because relationships with people like Bojack are contradictory and complicated. But also, Vance is satirized in the same way that Flip and Sebastian St. Clair are. Their characters may be based on real people, or a culmination of problematic commonalities and tropes among specific groups of people. The tortured artist showrunner that walks over everyone. The performative, wealthy philanthropist that prioritizes his own image
get your hands
above
off my
all,
girl. What's wrong with
and
you?
the actor that gets away with doing terrible things and is never fully held accountable for them. For most of the series, Bojack is the real fleshed-out counterpart of what Vance represents. If Bojack was a real person, based on the public's awareness of his actions, it could easily be speculated that he was an inspiration for the character of Vance Wagner. Though it is important to note that the writers enforced one very significant, very defining difference between Bojack and Vance. Unlike Vance, Bojack recognizes and cares that his actions are morally wrong, and he genuinely wants to become a better person. This distinction is vital to the show's theme. It's what keeps Bojack from straying into narcissism. It's what keeps the tone's undercurrent optimistic, this never-ending possibility of change.
What if I relapse again?
Then you'll get sober again.
Don't
love
get me
this
wrong.
scene.
Sometimes, well, a lot of the time, Bojack Horseman can get bleak. It's kind of an ongoing joke in the fandom, poking fun at like, hey, who knew this comedy about a cartoon talking horse would be the darkest show you've ever watched? And that definitely has merit. But Raphael always saw his show as ultimately hopeful. When I think of the most feel-good parts of the series, my mind goes to scenes that give us hope for Bojack's change. His smile knowing he's reconnecting with Hollyhock. The montage in rehab when we see him put effort into recovery. When he finds community at the church service reenactment, symbolically letting go of his internalized
That
hatred
scene
of
was so
horses.
good.
The emotional fulfillment he experiences teaching kids acting at Wesleyan. These moments are profound because despite everything Bojack has done, we still want him to get better. Raphael said, I would like to see Bojack find some sort of peace. I don't know if happiness is the right word. I don't know if he deserves that. But I would like to think even a soul as lost as Bojack can somehow crawl his way toward redemption. When Netflix releases a new season of a series on their platform, they'll often wait to see initial popularity and audience feedback before weighing out their slate and deciding whether to renew the show for another season or cancel it altogether. This is notoriously the case for animated shows, whose contracts are usually only for one season at a time, and whose plugs Netflix are more likely to pull because they have less broad appeal. Even though Bojack Horseman was Netflix's first animated original series produced in-house, that didn't exempt it from potentially being canceled. It wasn't until the beginning of season 6 that Raphael Bob Waxberg was told it was going to be the last season. Before that point, the writers had no way of knowing if the season they were working on would be their last. So these season finale moments, they're incredibly significant because each one had the possibility of being the end of the series as a whole.
Yeah, I ain't know they told them niggas season 6 was the last season. I ain't know that. I thought they just dang Netflix, y'all weird.
Be written with that in mind. And no matter how horrible Bojack's
My
actions
God.
were in that season, no matter how hopeless any chance for his redemption seemed, every time the writers were faced with choosing one final message to leave the audience with, they made sure that message was the same.
Well, I would have been, I would have been pissed if they ended the show on one of these seasons. Oh my God.
Hero. Really?
Especially season 1.
Huh.
It gets easier.
Huh?
Every day it gets a little easier. But you gotta do it every day. That's the
I would have
hard
been
part.
pissed if that was it too.
I've never had
This one too.
Hello, I am Bojack Horseman.
And this one.
And I am here because I need help. Life's a bitch and then you die, right?
Sometimes. Sometimes life's a bitch and
You
then you
keep
keep
it living.
living.
Well, I guess that's it. If you liked this video, please subscribe.
W video. This is like, well, that's one of the best Bojack videos I've ever seen.
That was an amazing video.
That was a great video. People saying look at the Bojack, like people look from Rick and Morty. They meant to warn you not to be idolized. That's real. Yeah, that was really good. 5 hours. That's going to my watch later. But yeah, this is a really, really good video. Yeah, like 5 hours. Okay, really good video. Yeah, this is really good. One more video like that, I'm gonna subscribe.